Do you know what the month of January is like? It's like you gotta take a big dump, a big giant dump, and then but you don't want to take a dump at that moment because you're over. Maybe you're over someone else's house. Maybe you're at work and finish whatever you're doing. So you hold it for a little bit, and then you finally go home to your toilet, and then you release that dump. You wipe your ass a little bit, and then you look at your progress, and you notice that the whole entire toilet is filled with shit. The moral to the story is, January just has a lot of shitty movies. This movie is nauseating, atrocious, and a cinematic failure. There are so many things wrong with this movie. This movie was directed by Stacy Title, but really her name shouldn't be attached to this film. Right now, I just feel like flicking her off, going to her house and just throwing toilet paper, because it felt like she literally put both her hands inside her ass and grabbed her shit and just throwing shit all at us. And I felt like I was just dodging all of her shit that was being thrown at me. It's literally so much stuff and dump and feces all over the screen. All the characters in this movie felt like they were from 90210. It literally felt like these characters had no acting experience, no acting chops, and literally was just thrown into the movie just for a paycheck. They didn't have enough, they didn't have no chemistry, they didn't have no taste, they didn't have no value, they didn't have no development, so therefore, I just felt like I wanted all of them to get shot and killed literally and get their heads blown off or head cut off and dumped in a wood chipper, being cut up in little small chops and pieces, and then being flown in space, and then you throw a nuclear bomb and then you blast them off to oblivion. The premise of his whole entire movie is, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it. But I'm thinking about it, so therefore he should appear in every single scene, because if you say his name or if you think his name, he will appear. That's the premise of the whole entire movie. So if I'm talking about him, I'm thinking about it. So therefore he should be behind me slitting my throat. If you've seen Inception, here's the scene.
I say to you, don't think about elephants. What are you thinking about?
Elephants.
Thanks to that scene alone just destroyed this whole entire movie. Really, and much in the CGI in this movie was compared to the same CGI I saw in Teletubbies. Teletubbies. I can tell this movie was very lazy when they introduced this one character in this whole entire movie. There was a character in this movie that owned a flower shop, and his name was Mr. Daisy. That's some great creativity right there. There's a scene where they showed this dog on a wallpaper, and the dog transformed into a monster. The wallpaper literally was just like, had a dog looking, and then it just... The wallpaper did that. It transformed into a big giant monster and did... Very much, this whole entire movie has a slow pacing. Like, usually the scares and the entity didn't really show up till like the second act. I was basically, when I walked out the theater, I was literally dying laughing. I literally was cracking up. I was rolling around on the floor, and I crawled to the bathroom. This movie was so bad that it's good. It's pretty much a comedy. This movie is not a horror flick. It is a downright comedy. Like, this could be comedy of the year. Laugh out loud in the whole entire movie. I promise you that. This whole entire studio created this film, and this film was supposed to be rated R. You can tell by watching this film, because there is this scene where the dude had a shotgun and he shot some bimbo, and then she got shot and there was no blood. It's like the studio created this movie and realized it was rated R, and they was like, oh, this is rated R. I think we should make this PG-13 so we can have young teenagers watch this film and get more money in the box office. And how can a film accidentally create a rated R movie? How can you accidentally create a rated R movie? Can you accidentally create a rated R movie? There's no positives with this movie. The only positive with this movie is not a lot of jump scares. No cliche jump scares. That's decent. I gotta give this a George Clooney Batman. It definitely deserves it. Batman, take out the trash.
Make it